Stop right now, take a breath, because the truth you've been running from is about to finally meet you where you are. You've spent too many days drowning in worries that never deserved a place in your heart. Too many nights staring at the ceiling, thinking about things that will never happen, stressing about people who don't think twice about you, carrying weights that were never your responsibility. But today something shifts. Today you decide that your peace is more valuable than your fear. Today you choose happiness, not because everything is perfect, but because you finally understand that everything doesn't have to be. You've been living like tomorrow holds the answers, but the secret is simple. Your happiness begins the moment you stop letting imaginary problems dictate your real life. Look at how much you survived. Look at how many times life knocked you down and you got back up. Even when you said you were tired, even when no one knew how much you were hurting. You lived through days you thought you'd never escape. You held yourself together when your mind was falling apart. And now, you're still here. That alone is proof that worry has never been your protector. Strength has. You've been telling yourself stories of fear for so long that you forgot what peace feels like. You forgot that you weren't born to constantly think about what could go wrong. You weren't born to fear the future, fear mistakes, fear judgment, fear loss, fear failure. No, your heart was designed to feel joy without permission. Your soul was designed to breathe deeply without guilt. You were made to live, not to survive on anxiety. Life isn't a battlefield you walk through alone. It's a gift you're allowed to open one small moment at a time. Think about the last worry that kept you awake. Now ask yourself, did it solve anything? Did it change anything? Did it help you grow? Or did it just steal time you could have spent living, laughing, resting, creating, loving, enjoying? Worry never pays you back. It only takes. It takes your energy, your peace, your joy, your clarity, your confidence. But today you take it back. Today you stop giving your mind permission to torture you with scenarios that don't exist. Because you deserve happiness. Not someday, not when everything is perfect, not when you finally have figured your life out. You deserve happiness now, in the middle of your confusion, in the middle of your healing, in the middle of your mistakes, in the middle of life not going exactly how you planned. Happiness isn't a reward for a flawless life. It's a mindset you choose even when nothing makes sense. You have to stop worrying about things you can't control. You have to stop trying to manage the world like it's your responsibility. It's not. You're exhausting yourself thinking you need to fix everything, fix everyone, fix every outcome. But the world turns without your worry. The sun rises without your fear. Life continues whether you stress or surrender. So choose surrender. Choose trust. Choose peace. You've given worry enough years. You've given stress enough space. You've given fear enough opportunities to ruin your days. Now you choose happiness, not because life is easy, but because you're stronger now. Because you've seen what happens when you do nothing but worry. Nothing changes except you become tired, drained, frustrated, empty. But when you choose happiness, when you choose to breathe, to let go, to trust, everything around you shifts. Your energy becomes lighter. Your thoughts become kinder. Your spirit becomes freer. Today, you remind yourself you don't need to worry about people's opinions. They don't determine your worth. You don't need to worry about the future. It will unfold exactly as it should. You don't need to worry about making every decision perfectly. Mistakes are part of growth. You don't need to worry about losing people. The ones meant for your journey stay. You don't need to worry about being behind. Your timeline is not supposed to look like anyone else's. You don't need to worry about failure. Every failure has carried you closer to who you are meant to become. You deserve to wake up and feel light. You deserve to open your eyes and not feel the heaviness of 1,000 what-ifs. You deserve mornings that feel soft, afternoons that feel peaceful, nights that feel gentle. You deserve to smile without forcing it, to laugh without faking it, to breathe without shaking. You deserve a life that doesn't feel like a storm, and that life begins with the very thought you are having right now. Maybe I don't have to worry about everything. Maybe happiness is allowed. Look at children. They laugh without reason. They run without fear. They live completely in the moment, unbothered by the future, untouched by imaginary disasters. And somewhere along the way, life taught you to be afraid. But you can unlearn it. You can return to the simplicity of being here right now in this moment, where everything is actually okay. Not perfect, not flawless, but okay. Safe enough to breathe, soft enough to rest, real enough to enjoy. You have to stop treating happiness like it's something you chase. Happiness is not a finish line. It's a choice, a practice, a daily decision. You build it the same way you build strength, with small, consistent actions. You choose gratitude even when things are messy. You choose presence even when life is uncertain. You choose joy even when your heart is healing. And over time, happiness becomes your default, not your struggle. You spent too long believing your worries were protecting you. They were not. They were stealing years from you. But now you're stepping into a new chapter, a chapter where you choose to trust the process, a chapter where you replace fear with faith, a chapter where you choose to live one day at a time, a chapter where you understand that what is meant for you will find you without you destroying yourself trying to force it. Your happiness begins with releasing the tension in your shoulders, loosening the grip in your jaw, unclenching your fists, allowing yourself to breathe deeply, allowing yourself to take a break, allowing yourself to rest without guilt, allowing yourself to exist without panic. Your happiness begins when you acknowledge that you are not behind. You are not failing. You are not broken. You are simply growing, learning, evolving. And growth takes time. Peace takes practice. Healing takes patience. You don't need every answer. You don't need every step mapped out. You don't need life to be perfect before you let yourself smile. You just need to remember that worry changes nothing. But choosing happiness, that changes everything. You've forgotten how powerful you are when you stop feeding fear. Worry grows when you water it, when you replay the same thoughts over and over until they turn into monsters in your mind. But you also have the power to stop it, to interrupt it. Every time you choose a peaceful thought over a fearful one, you weaken the grip worry has on your life. Every time you tell yourself it's going to be okay, you speak life into your future. Every time you breathe instead of panic, you reclaim your power. Because the truth is simple. Happiness isn't something the world gives you. It's something you cultivate from the inside. It's built from your decision to stop letting your fears narrate your life. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment to be happy. You create it. You don't need everything sorted out. You learn to dance through uncertainty. You don't need to eliminate every challenge. You rise above them. There are people living with half of what you have, and they smile every day. Not because their life is easy, but because they refuse to let worry steal their joy. They understand that happiness is not a luxury. It's a choice. And now you're learning that too. You're learning that peace is not a miracle, it's a habit. You're learning that joy doesn't arrive at your doorstep. You open the door to it. You don't owe worry your attention anymore. You don't owe stress anymore sleepless nights. You don't owe fear anymore years of your life. You owe yourself peace. You owe yourself joy. You owe yourself rest. You owe yourself mornings that feel gentle and nights that feel calm. You owe yourself a life that doesn't feel like you're drowning in your own thoughts. Imagine how different your life becomes the moment you stop giving energy to things that don't matter. The moment you stop obsessing over what people think. The moment you stop letting small inconveniences ruin your whole day. The moment you stop rehearsing the same negative outcomes in your mind. That's when your happiness grows. That's when your days become lighter. That's when you start enjoying the life that's right in front of you. Worry convinces you that happiness will come later. After you fix your life, after you find answers, after everything settles. But life never fully settles. There will always be something uncertain, something unclear, something imperfect. If you wait for perfection, you will lose your entire life waiting. So stop waiting. Start living. Start smiling at small things. Start appreciating simple moments. Start valuing your peace more than your panic. Start giving yourself permission to breathe. Start allowing joy to enter your day even if everything isn't going your way. Because happiness doesn't require perfection. It requires presence. Look around you. There are things you prayed for that are now a normal part of your life. There are obstacles you once feared that are now distant memories. There were moments you thought would break you, yet here you are, stronger, wiser, softer, kinder. Worry never helped you survive those moments. Your resilience did. Your faith did. Your courage did. Your courage did. Your heart did. The world is not against you. Life is not punishing you. You're not cursed, unlucky, or failing. You're simply human navigating a life that comes with seasons, storms, lessons, detours, blessings, and surprises. You're allowed to take things one day at a time. You're allowed to slow down. You're allowed to be imperfect. You're allowed to grow at your own pace. Most importantly, you're allowed to be happy even while you're still figuring everything out. Stop letting every little thing bother you. Stop absorbing stress like it's your responsibility. Stop overthinking conversations. Stop replaying mistakes. Stop imagining outcomes that haven't happened. Stop letting your peace depend on what you can't control. The world becomes lighter when you become kinder to your mind. It's time to protect your happiness the way you protect your pain. You guard your fears so tightly, now guard your joy. Guard your peace. Guard your smile. Guard your energy. Not everyone deserves access to your emotions. Not every situation deserves your stress. There comes a moment in life where you realize that the things you've been stressing over were never meant to control you. You realize that the weight you've been carrying was heavier in your mind than in reality. You realize that most of your worries were shadows, only appearing large because you were standing too close to them. When you take a step back, when you breathe, when you allow yourself to see life with clarity instead of panic, everything becomes softer. Everything becomes lighter. Everything becomes manageable. Worry shrinks your world. It makes you believe that danger is everywhere, that failure is guaranteed, that disappointment is inevitable. But happiness expands your world. It opens your eyes to the good you've been overlooking. It reminds you of the beauty that still surrounds you. It pulls you back into the present moment, where life is not as frightening as your thoughts make it seem. Every time you choose happiness, you are choosing freedom. Freedom from unnecessary battles. Freedom from self-created fears. Freedom from imagined futures that steal the joy from your real life. You are not born to live in a constant state of fear. You were not made to carry a mind full of storms. You were created with the capacity to love, to laugh, to hope, to dream, to find peace, to experience joy. But happiness requires courage. It takes courage to silence your worries, courage to trust life again, courage to believe that good things are possible for you. You've been brave for surviving your battles. Now be brave enough to choose joy. Ask yourself, what if everything works out? What if you're worrying for nothing? What if the future is kinder than you expect? What if life surprises you in the best way? What if the peace you're searching for has been within you all along? You've wasted enough energy trying to anticipate every problem. You've spent enough nights replaying what you should have said, what you should have done, what could happen, what might go wrong. But today you choose something different. Today you choose to focus on what could go right. Today you choose to imagine positive outcomes. Today you choose to believe that life can be gentle with you too. Even if you have reasons to worry, even if life hasn't been fair to you, even if you've been hurt, disappointed, abandoned, you still deserve happiness. Pain didn't take away your right to joy. Struggle didn't disqualify you from peace. The past didn't destroy your ability to smile again. Happiness isn't something you earn. It's something you allow. Allow yourself to laugh without overthinking. Allow yourself to rest without guilt. Allow yourself to enjoy without fear. Allow yourself to let go without feeling irresponsible. Allow yourself to trust without predicting the worst. Allow yourself to breathe like the world isn't collapsing on your shoulders. Your mind is tired, not because life is too hard, but because you've been fighting battles that don't exist outside your thoughts. You've been trying to control things that are not yours to control. You've been trying to predict a future that hasn't arrived. You've been punishing yourself for things that are already over. Happiness begins when you forgive yourself for being human. When you accept that you don't have to be perfect to deserve peace. When you understand that nothing in life requires panic, only presence. You don't need to worry about being enough. You already are. You don't need to worry about being too late. Your timing is your own. You don't need to worry about the future. It is unfolding exactly as it should. You don't need to worry about losing people. The right ones stay. You don't need to worry about failure. Every great story has chapters of struggle. Instead of worrying, try noticing the small joys you've been ignoring. The warmth of sunlight on your skin, the way the breeze feels against your face, the sound of laughter in the distance, the comfort of your favorite food, the softness of your bed after a long day, the fact that your heart is still beating, still hoping, still trying despite everything. These small things are pieces of happiness scattered around you every day. You just haven't been able to see them because worry made your world too dark. But when you let go, when you lift the weight from your heart, you'll realize happiness was never far away. It was waiting for you to look up. Life is not as complicated as your mind makes it. Most problems are temporary. Most fears are exaggerations. Most stress is self-created. And even when life is difficult, worry doesn't help. It only magnifies the difficulty. Happiness doesn't eliminate problems, it makes them easier to face. A calm mind sees solutions faster. A peaceful heart heals quicker. A joyful spirit attracts better days. You don't need to force happiness, you just need to make space for it. It grows naturally when you stop feeding your fears. It rises on its own when you stop obsessing over everything that could go wrong. Happiness flows to you when you stop blocking it with overthinking. Let life be lighter. Be lighter. Let your heart be softer. Let your days be simpler. You don't need to fight every battle. You don't need to answer every question. You don't need to solve every issue immediately. You don't need to please everyone around you. You don't need to have everything figured out to enjoy your life right now. Some days will be messy. Some moments will be uncertain. Some plans will fall apart. But happiness can still exist in the middle of all that. You can still smile. You can still find meaning. You can still experience peace. You are learning that joy doesn't depend on circumstances. It depends on mindset. You can shift your entire life by shifting your thoughts. You can transform your day by choosing gratitude. You can change your energy by choosing calmness over chaos. And slowly, as you practice this every day, your life becomes less about survival and more about living. You've spent so much time believing your worries were warnings, but now you're realizing they were simply habits, patterns your mind repeated until they felt like truth. But they were never truth. They were never reflections of reality. They were echoes of fear, repeating the same message over and over until you were convinced something terrible was always around the corner. But look at your life. Look at everything you feared that never happened. Look at all the moments you thought would break you but ended up shaping you. Look at the storms you thought you couldn't survive, yet here you are stronger and wiser because of them. Worry wasn't your protector. Life itself guided you. Your strength guided you. Your faith guided you. Your resilience guided you. You don't need to keep punishing yourself with thoughts that don't serve you. You don't need to keep treating your mind like an enemy. You don't need to keep revisiting problems that ended long ago. You don't need to keep holding on to fears that don't belong to you. Imagine waking up each day without the weight of worry. Imagine starting your mornings with gratitude instead of anxiety. Imagine going through your day with a peaceful heart instead of a restless mind. Imagine feeling joy without questioning it, without analyzing it, without waiting for it to disappear. But that life is not far away. It begins with small choices you can make today. The choice to not overthink every message. The choice to not replay every mistake. The choice to not assume the worst. The choice to not let fear control your actions. The choice to breathe before reacting. The choice to trust before panicking. The choice to live before worrying. Happiness is not a mystery. It's not a rare emotion reserved for the lucky. It's not something you stumble upon. It's something you create intentionally. It's built through awareness of your thoughts, your triggers, your emotional patterns. When you notice your mind slipping into fear, you gently guide it back. When you notice yourself imagining the worst, you interrupt the spiral. When you notice your energy draining, you redirect your focus. You are not a prisoner of your thoughts. You are the one who observes them. You are the one who can change them. You are the one who decides whether to feed worry or peace. You are the one who chooses whether your mind becomes a battlefield or a sanctuary. Start treating yourself with kindness. Start speaking to yourself the way you speak to someone you love. Start comforting your mind instead of criticizing it. Start reminding yourself that you are doing your best. Start acknowledging your efforts instead of highlighting your flaws. Start appreciating how far you've come instead of obsessing over how far you still have to go. Life becomes softer when you become softer with yourself. You deserve a mind that feels safe. You deserve a heart that feels light. You deserve a life that feels hopeful. You deserve to feel joy without fear of losing it. You deserve peace that isn't temporary. You deserve mornings filled with clarity and nights filled with rest. Happiness is not far from you. It's one thought away.